Welcome to In Our Mom's Basement Video Game Podcast, where we talk about everything video games with your host, Dan Giofue and Rage Quit Pat.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of In Our Mom's Basement, episode 79. Today we're going to be talking about our overall experience with Comic-Con that we just came back from this weekend and some upcoming games. But before we get into that, don't forget to follow us on our socials. Everything at In Our Mom's Basement and our website at inourmomsbasement.com. Let's get into it. Pat, what's going on, man? How are you? How was your week going?
Dan the Pizza Man, what is going on? A week started out good. A nice and quiet start. Dan and I also just came from the movies not too long ago. Just saw Smile 2, which I thought was a enjoyable experience, I must say. I did really enjoy that movie, and it's very rare, a movie like that, especially horror, does good with the sequel, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was pretty good. I think I found myself laughing a little bit more than getting scared like you. You were like crazy over there.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely some funny moments for sure, but yeah, there were definitely some moments that got me, for sure. So, but overall, good movie. Very good movie. Go see Smile 2 if you guys saw the first one. Smile 2 was a very good, enjoyable experience, I would say.
Yeah, it was good. You know, I heard some people say it was better than the first. I don't know. I still like the first one a little bit better, just my opinion though. But it was still good. Still worth to go to the theater and watch it. It definitely worth it.
Yes, sir. But today, it's about Comic-Con, some upcoming games that we are looking forward to. Let's start with Comic-Con. So Dan, we can start with you because you were there 2 days. So let's hear about Thursday, because I can only really chime in about Friday. Let's, fill us in on how was Thursday Comic-Con experience? Because I know typically in the years past you went Friday and Saturday, but how was your Comic-Con experience on a Thursday?
It was actually my first Thursday. So I've been going to Comic-Con for over 10 years now, almost from the beginning of time. So it's been a very long time. First time on a Thursday. I kind of expected Thursday to be a little bit less packed. And for an event that wasn't even sold out for Thursday, it was still pretty damn packed. But we were able to check out every booth though. So when I went with you, I didn't really care for checking out too much because I already did every booth. I already walked up and down every aisle. Did about 10 whole miles that day. I was pretty broken. Saw some good panels though. I think Thursday was a Penguin panel, which was awesome. Loved seeing some of the clips for the upcoming season, and I'm very much enjoying that show myself. So it was really awesome to see.
So that was Thursday. Now let's spin to Friday, where we did a lot. Friday we got there really early, earlier than last year, which was good. But yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I cosplayed as Nightwing this time around, rather than Spider-Man. Spider-Man last year was kind of a last-minute decision because I did not get my Nightwing in time, but this year I did, and started off, it was a big hit. Got a couple people asking me, did I make it myself? Dan jokingly said I should have said I made it myself, and maybe charge some, maybe see if I could get some. I made it myself. How much? I'll make it for you.
Yeah, and just sell it right there. That's called reselling. Up the price a little bit and sell it on.
Yeah, but we started out. First thing we did when we walked in is there's a new Dexter show coming out. I don't know if anyone knows or is a Dexter fan. There's a prequel, a Dexter series called Dexter First Blood. It's basically just kind of like a young Dexter going through, obviously, what we know in the previous shows, his dark passenger. I don't think he's a part of Miami PD yet. I didn't read too much into it because I'm kind of tapped out what they've done to Dexter overall. So, I mean, I guess, a prequel, it does interest me in some way. I mean, we didn't see any footage or anything like that. It was just kind of a picture thing that Dan and I did. I thought it was pretty cool, though. We kind of were...
I wish we got it. I wish I downloaded them so we could show.
That's true, yeah. We should have showed it. That's right. But yeah, if we have any pictures and you want to throw them up, we can definitely do that.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was It was cool. It was a cool. We got on the death table or the kill table as they call it. We took some photos, and that was cool. Dan made a smart choice to say, let's hop into this line right away because the line definitely got really jacked up later on. But yeah, I mean, this is my third time going to Comic-Con. I will say the show floor can be a little bit overwhelming at times. If you kind of, don't know where you're going or don't know what to do. First thing that I pointed out, I asked Dan, I said, where's Joe Hendry? And that is the first thing that we rolled out to was we went over to the wrestler section. There was other wrestlers there as well. There was Rikishi, a couple other ones. Mick Foley was there. But ultimately, I went to Joe Hendry. And Dan could have taken a picture with me, but Dan seemed to not believe in Joe Hendry. So I went and I took a picture. Real nice guy. He told me a funny story about apparently he was nearly scammed on playing Nightwing back in the day. But, it was good to chat with him for a little bit. Typically, the thing that makes me nervous about Comic-Con, what I was talking to Dan about before was I really wanted to meet the cast of Fallout. Ellie Purcell, I believe her name is. I wanted to meet her because I thought she was great in the Fallout series. But what I see is you don't really speak to them for that long. It's kind of a quick handshake. Hey, how are you? Quick. They try to rush you out quick. So like you're paying all that money and you can't really have like a little quick, and I'm not saying let's have a 5-minute conversation, but to have like at least 2 minutes or something. But they're like, hey, how you doing? Quick pick out of the way. And I believe her pictures weren't too much, but even still, I mean, Joe Hendry was worth it because I actually had a conversation with him before we took the picture. Like he was there, and he had a funny conversation with me. So that was really cool.
Yeah, you got to think about like the hundreds of people that are also waiting in the line as well. They try to make it quick. I mean, if you see them outside of that area, if you see them at a booth, they're more inclined to talk and have that little conversation with you versus the VIP about the RSVP areas.
Yeah, but that was cool. And then Dan knows when it's him and I there. A lot of things I like to do before we do anything is shop. I had a budget. Last year, I kind of did not have a budget. I just kind of went in head first. But this time around, I think I did pretty good, except for one. Dan told me not to get this T-shirt where I was getting it because there's other T-shirt stands. I didn't listen, and I found a much better T-shirt stand later on in the day. But, yeah, there was a lot of good stuff, man. I mean, if you guys are looking for, like, really cool T-shirts, obviously comics, action figures, Funkos. Yeah, Dan and I strolled over to the Funko section, but we did not go in the line.
So, Diego, the thing with Funkos, I don't know if you remember, you have to get in that RSVP. You have to, if you don't get an RSVP, you're not getting it. Or just stand by line, but you will literally wait there all fucking day, a whole 8 hours. You'll sit in that line, and you might not even touch a Funko. And plus, I don't really collect Funkos much anymore, so it's not really worth for me to do it. But there's people that complain that they were there from the beginning of the day all the way to the end trying to get in the Funko line, and they never got a Funko.
Yeah, so I'm gonna second what Dan said as well. I get Funkos now here and there, and mainly the Funkos I will get is Spider-Man and Batman. And if there's any rare Funko, maybe that's like tied to a retail store, then I would on it. But yeah, my Funko collection has really died down as of late, unless it's Spider-Man. But Dan and I strolled over there. They had the mystery Funko Pop box, which I bought last year, and I got stuck with a Funko that I did not want. So I was like, I'm not falling into this trap again. As far as let me get this mystery box and ends up with junk that I don't want. But overall, walking around again, there was a couple comic book stands that we checked out. That was good. We found a couple deals. you got to be careful. So if anyone's looking to go to New York Comic Con or any Comic Con in general, don't on the first comic book, area that you see, because there's going to be other comic stands that might have 30% off cover price, 30%, 50% off dollar comics, things like that. Dan and I kind of strolled around and we found some good comics. There was ones where I bought that were 50% off the price. There was ones that were 30% off the price, and then Dan and I found ones that were 7 for $20 that were cool. There was also these really cool plushes that I found, and they made like Nightwing. They made Resident Evil characters, but one thing you got to know too with Comic-Con is they're gonna overprice things. Do you agree with that, Dan? Like I feel because it's Comic-Con, they know people are gonna be coming in with large of money. They overpriced.
Now that you're talking about overpriced, I forgot about the retro games in the back. Did I bring you to that, or did we see that?
No, we talked about it. We didn't go back there, but I figured it'd be kind of like last year, because last year you and I went to that retro section and all the prices were.
Yeah, dude, they're all jacked up, dude. They definitely raised those prices even higher, for sure.
Yeah, it was just it wasn't worth it, but we did find some good deals. But let's talk about the panels. We did some cool panels, I would say. We did the panel, which kind of showed a movie we kind of already know about that's coming out, which is Wolfman, which I am, excited to see. We got to see actually a trailer that they pretty much just released now, but we got to kind of see an earlier version of that trailer, which is actually really cool. Yeah, a little bit more extended, yeah. Yeah, and Wolfman looks good. It's the same makers of, same director from Invisible Man, which I thought was I thought it was a good movie. I really liked Invisible Man. How they kind of modernized it, and I'm anxious to see how Wolfman's going to be. It looks good. Also teased a couple other movies, which I have the photos right here. There's a very interesting movie called Drop that's coming out that Dan and I caught a trailer of. What did you think of that, Dan? Drop?
I don't remember which one that was.
That was the one where the woman, a single mom, she has the babysitter. She's going out on a date, and someone airdrops.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That he's in the house, and he's going to kill her kid, and if she doesn't kill her date, and he basically has like these directions. It's actually it looked pretty interesting. It looked pretty good. Obviously,
interesting concept though, for sure. But it's something that necessarily could be pretty real. A lot of things could be airdropped these days.
Yeah, and I also like it's from the director of Happy Death Day 2, which I am a fan of both of those movies. So, it kind of gives me hope, obviously, when you have these good directors that make these kind of fun movies. And it does look like a fun movie from the glimpse that we got. Also showed the first poster of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I actually thought they were going to bring out Matthew Lillard when we were at that panel. I actually really thought they were going to bring out Matthew Lillard. Yeah, there's the cosplay, everybody. That's the Nightwing cosplay. A couple of Jason Todds wanted to come and say hello. Thank you. I was zooming in there. But yeah, the cosplay came out very nice. Much better than I thought it was going to come out. But I'm very happy how it turned out. But yeah, Blood stuff was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked it. And we got free t-shirts, so it was a plus. Even though it was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was a nightmare to get free t-shirts. You yell free, people go stampeding. But yeah, we got free t-shirts, and I'm happy I'm happy we were able to get the free t-shirts without getting crushed and all. But Comic-Con also had McDonald's this year, as Dan is showing off food. The McDonald's truck was at Comic-Con. And we can say that probably the line would have taken an hour to get McDonald's if we really wanted a Big Mac and fries that day.
That line was so long, bro. Like, who goes to Comic-Con and out of all the 30 food vendors there, you're gonna go for fucking McDonald's?
I mean, that's always funny, right? Like you have all these small businesses that are bringing their food truck. Obviously, that's somewhere. Of course, I'd rather be right. Like I'd rather support these businesses. And yeah, out of all places, you're gonna go. I'm not gonna go to McDonald's. I'm at Comic-Con. I can have McDonald's any time in my life. So why would I have McDonald's? So yeah, I ended up getting hot dogs that I regretted after. I should have gotten chicken fingers and fries, or that mac and cheese place that Dan got. And that was pretty cool. That cool comic that I scored. So, little quick story behind that comic that I picked up. It was also 30% off, which was very good. And that is the first appearance of Bloodhaven, the city that Nightwing watches over. And that is the first time Nightwing is in that. And that is the debut of Nightwing in that suit. So I was very happy to score that key issue at Comic-Con. And there's Dan.
I love all those comics.
And Dan taking pictures of. We took pictures at the new show that's coming on Disney Plus, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. That I'm looking forward to. Anytime new Spider-Man cartoon. That was pretty cool. There was barely any line. There's a little. I should have taken pictures with more Nightwings. I only took picture with that one Nightwing, but I didn't take enough pictures with my fellow Nightwings that were there.
Yeah, I mean there was a decent amount. There wasn't too many though.
Yeah, there wasn't too many. There's Raven and Jason Todd, some other ones that I took pictures with as well, fellow Raven. Oh, sorry.
A little wife smooch.
Yes, but anyway, now let's talk about that panel. That was the last panel of the night. Sony, we got to see Kraven the Hunter, right?
Yes.
We've talked about this, kind of on the fence about this. There's no Spider-Man. Obviously, they're doing, we've seen Sony do these spin-off movies because they have the license. They don't want to lose the license. So, excuse me. What are your thoughts, Dan, on Kraven the Hunter?
Yeah, no, I'm like the rest of the world. I was all skeptical, Spider-Man, no Spider-Man. Like you said, I didn't really have much opinion on it. And then we got to see the beginning intro of how it all starts and get a little glimpse of the storyline. And I would say out of the probably what we was watching me like 15 minutes of the film, and I kind of enjoyed it. It had some really cool, death scenes, and it's definitely rated R. So it's nice to see that Sony's finally getting more into the rated R films. So from the first 15 minutes, I was happy about it.
And I will agree. It definitely is. Yeah, we'll get to that, Diego. But anyway, I agree with you. I thought the opening sequence was interesting. I thought it was a very good opening sequence. Like Dan said, it's definitely a rated R movie. There is a lot of brutality.
A lot. One that made me cringe a little bit.
Yeah, really good kill sequences in this movie as well. The one thing that worries me, again, it's Sony. And unfortunately, Sony has just not had a good track record with these. And granted, I know they did Venom. The first two Venom movies are, I think, are. The first Venom movie is okay-ish. The second one is good once it gets to the third act. And then
I thought the first one was good. The second one,
yeah.
I did not like it. I did not like it.
Yeah, until they got to the fight scene with Carnage, that was the only part I liked of the movie. And then obviously Madam Web. I don't think we really need to speak too much on Madam Web's reception.
Obviously one of the best.
Yeah, one of the best Sony Spider-Man spin-offs. So that's the main thing that worries me. Can they get it right with this movie? Again, there's no Spider-Man. Obviously, one of the main villains is Rhino as well. We didn't see any Rhino footage. They didn't show any of that. They mainly just kind of showed Kraven in action in certain sequences, which, again, it looks good. Of course, we're at Comic-Con. I don't think they're going to show anything like bad footage. I think we got what we got, which was the action sequences. I mean, again, they're trying to sell this movie. They're going to show these badass action scenes. And again, I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I think he's a good actor. I think he looks the part as Kraven. But again, let's just see how this movie plays out, but I did like the scenes that they showed us.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
would
it was,
say like they
good.
did like the first 15 minutes uncut from the beginning of the movie to where it stopped, and it was pretty much all action. So
Yep,
if I don't know how the movie's gonna keep up with them, but if it does, I think it's gonna be a really good movie.
I agree. Then we also got to see we got to see the first trailer of Karate Kid Legends.
Oh yeah,
We got the OG Karate Kid. We got Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
We got a new actor stepping into the fold. It's not Will Smith's son, thank God.
Thank God.
That movie was fucking awful.
Sorry, Diego. I know how much you liked him.
Yeah, that movie. Sorry, that movie was abysmal. But we got a new actor coming in. I mean, actually, it doesn't look bad, man. It didn't look too bad based off that trailer. I know, obviously, the last Karate Kid was an abysmal movie. The show on Netflix that's based off Karate Kid is very good. But I mean, I hope the movie does good, man. It's good to see the OGs. You know, Jackie Chan, of course, and the OG Karate Kid back in it. So I'm, let's see how it is. But we got a trailer that they're going to be releasing soon, which was really cool. I will say, security was on top of it.
Yeah, they were walking up and down the aisles, like staring at people.
You probably could have gotten away with film. I mean, the security really wasn't on target but for Sony, they were walking up and down. Their flashlights are out. Like, they were making sure that nothing was recorded
Sony
by
paid top dollar.
anybody. Which I didn't mention this, which was cool with the Kraven panel as well. Aaron Taylor Johnson was there. The director was there as well. So that was pretty cool. And if you cosplayed as Kraven, they brought you up on stage and you took pictures with him. So that was cool. Definitely cooler than last year because Dan and I went last year and it was during the writer's strike.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have, anytime they were doing like TV show or movie stuff, they didn't have any of them there because of the strike. So it was good to go this year, no strike, and they were there. So now we'll get to Venom. I mean, what are your thoughts on? I mean, Venom, this is the last movie in the trilogy. Listen, I like Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. I think he does a really good job. Again, the movies, no one's going to boo. Well, here, you know what? I forgot to mention this. I'm going back a little bit. Dan and I at the fest, Dan and I were sitting in front of probably the most miserable person I've ever heard in my, like, literally every movie that was brought up. This movie sucks. That movie was garbage. What's the other one? Oh, Exorcist is not a horror movie.
Yeah,
just
guy wouldn't shut the
miserable, fucking miserable. Just dude, shut up. Like, go outside and complain. And sure enough, he probably did. Just annoying, nonstop. Shut up, dude. Take your misery and get out. Get out of the panel. Go be miserable someplace else. Fucking dope.
Yeah, but I wanted to turn around and smack the shit out of him because he wouldn't shut up.
He was annoying. Like, dude, you're fucking God, man. But back to where we were, Venom. No one was going to boo. I mean, everybody was cheering. Listen, like Dan and I just said, I thought the first one was fine for what it was. The second one, I only liked the third act. This movie, they showed us a pretty cool scene, I thought, in the movie. 2 scenes, right? They showed us 2 pretty.
Yeah, they showed us 2.
One long. Yeah, I thought it was good.
There he is, Tom Hardy.
And that was cool. They brought out the actors and the actresses and the director. I mean, it was cool to see Tom Hardy. He's a really funny guy. He does a really good job at panels. I thought he was quite hilarious. The one thing that, like, I wish they did was I wish you could ask questions. I wish they could have. I mean, I know Dan mentioned it. It depends on, the panel you go to. But I wish you could kind of go up there and ask a couple questions. And, because I know, again, they're promoting the movie, which is great. But, there were definitely some questions that I think the fans would have liked to kind of ask.
Yeah, they used to do that pretty often. But I don't know. I guess for this panel, it's a live Venom movie, so and a lot of people are probably wondering the same thing: Venom, Spider-Man, Venom, Spider-Man. Are they ever going to meet? And I guess they just want to avoid that.
Yeah, they kind of touched on it a little bit. Tom Hardy basically just said he would love to fight Spider-Man. That's kind of really all he touched on. He didn't really say that if it, is in the future, but he just kind of left it on the table and said, I would love to fight Spider-Man.
Yeah, and she said that anything's possible.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that was anything's possible. But the scene was cool. We got to see the Venom horse. We got to see Venom fish, Venom frog. We got to see the symbiote on a couple of different things that were pretty cool. So I seen them all. I'll see the trilogy. We also got Venom Bucks to ride the horse if we wanted to. I'm going to keep this as a collector item, though. I think this is cool.
Yeah, it's
so I'll
cool.
keep it as a collector's item. Venom Bucks. But I mean, overall, I had a really good time at Comic-Con again. I feel like this year went a little bit faster than last year. I feel like last year it felt like we were there longer than we were this year. Did you have that same feeling?
Yeah, it felt the same to me.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. For me, it felt like last year it went a little bit slower than it did this year. This year kind of seemed like it was pretty fast, but overall, really good time. If anyone ever is looking to go to any sort of Comic-Con, I would recommend going. Obviously, make sure you guys have a budget. Oh yes, they also showed us a trailer for Woman in the Yard, which looks interesting.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
That looked interesting.
And they said that Megan 2 was coming.
Yes, that's right. Megan 2.0. We got to see Megan in action as well. No trailer or anything like that. But it was interesting to see that. But overall, good panels. Good Comic-Con, had a really good time. We got to get Dan the cosplay. Dan said he was going to cosplay this year. He did not. So we'll see if Dan is true to his word in 2025 and cosplays. Because
I could do it. I just need Diego to send me that fight club, that fight camp.
People asked me where was Batman, and I said Dan didn't. I pointed at Dan. I was like, he didn't do it.
Or Dan Red Hood.
Or that, yeah. Dan could have been the Red Hood as well, but Dan just didn't do it.
And I said next year we're going as Power Rangers.
I'm not against I'm not against that. Power Rangers is good too.
Oh, I say Power Rangers. I meant to say Ninja Turtles.
Nah, I'm looking at Marvel characters. I'm looking at some Marvel and some DC stuff. But overall, I really enjoy going to Comic-Con. One day is good enough for me, even though I've kind of told Dan Sundays could be a possibility because if you go Sunday, that's when everybody wants to get rid of all their stuff that they brought, and they'll just flash sale it. Everything $10, everything $1. So Sunday will be a good time to go.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I gotta do 2 days, especially if I'm gonna go on a Sunday.
Yeah, I'll probably go Friday, skip Saturday, go Sunday. That would be fine for me.
Get a little leg rest.
But that was it on our Comic-Con.
I used to do 4 days. I used to do 4 days every year, my man. A little retired from that. I got a little older, and knees don't work as good anymore. I did 10 miles a day this weekend, so I'm good.
Yeah, 4 days is a lot. So really quickly, we'll run down just some upcoming games that are coming out that have come out. Obviously, Silent Hill is the big one that recently released. Also, the new Mario Party for the Switch just came out, which is getting really good reviews, by the way. A Quiet Place is also getting good reviews. The Road Ahead. And now for future, obviously the big one, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is going to be on its way. And of course, if you have Game Pass, it'll be on Game Pass. There's Sonic X Shadow Generations just in time for the new movie. Excuse me, good reviews for that one as well. Life is Strange Double Exposure. I have seen some people play the early episodes. So I actually watched Serenity play that game, which, Max is back. It looks good. Dragon Age, anyone looking for an RPG? Dragon Age is back October 31st on Halloween. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. Dan, we spoke briefly a little bit on Call. Yeah, I know, right? They're remastering PS4 games. but they already did with Until Dawn. I should, Horizon is not the first PS4 game to get remastered. Until Dawn is. But Dan, what are you excited about the new Call of Duty? You play Call of Duty every year. What are you excited about?
I don't play multiplayer. And if I really do play multiplayer, it is going to be Search and Destroy, and that is like strictly it. Fuck your shipment and all that crap. But I'm super excited that they're bringing zombies back, and it's kind of gonna feel like the OG kind of way of zombies, which I'm really excited for. And of course, I'm always gonna find my way back into Warzone. I don't know why, but I always find myself playing Warzone. But really excited for zombies.
Yeah, the good news is, it's on Game Pass, so I agree with what was just said by Diego there in chat. Again, you could join, of course, our live podcast on Twitch, in our mom's basement. And then we can, we interact. We do interact with chat, depending on what they say. There's some stuff that is sus that is said in chat, so we will just type respond rather than voice respond. But I will voice respond to that. I also agree with Diego said. I am excited for it to be free. I don't have to pay money. Dan doesn't have to pay any money. And there you go. I'm excited to try out some zombies. I've always was a fan of zombies. I didn't really enjoy that Warzone-ish type zombies that they did. But
DMZ.
I'm looking. Yeah, I didn't really like that too much.
There
it
was
got
no
boring
PvP.
after a while. Yeah.
Well, also, just to be that guy, technically it's not free since we're still paying a subscription.
Well, that's true. But we don't have... Yeah, that's true. We are paying a subscription to get it. But otherwise, we got it. We got it, my friend. But anyway, other things...
Phasmophobia is finally coming to console.
That's true, too. Phasmo, after being pushed back for well over 2 years on console, that is also finally coming to console, which then I'll play it. I will finally play it again. I'll play it on my console. So if anyone would like to play, I know Dan is always down. I will give it a try. But that is that's October, excuse me. November, Mario and Luigi Brothership, which I believe is like an RPG Mario. That's in November. Farming Simulator 25. That's a huge, huge game announcement there. Gotta love the simulator games. Gotta love it. Gotta love the simulator games. And we got Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, which is also Game Pass as well, day one. And that is November. December, Indiana Jones, The Great Circle, Game Pass, day one. Whoever's a big fan of the Legacy of Kain games, those games. So, there's some stuff.
You said
on the
Stalker 2
horizon
already, or did I miss that?
I did say Stalker 2. I did forget, though, Microsoft Flight Simulator. That is also in November as well.
I thought that was already out, so I got confused by that. Or just a new edition or something.
Probably. That could be it. But, yeah, I mean, this year was not like 2024, which is fine. But, there's still some games to play. Still some fun to be had. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the year.
Yeah, there's a couple of good games coming out this year that definitely playing. Call of Duty, like we said. I'm going to try to the Stalker 2. And I'm certainly going to try Indiana Jones to see how it is. Even though I don't really have high hopes for Indiana Jones, I'm still going to give it a whirl.
I'm surprised it's first person. That's really my main surprise with that game. I really thought it would be a third person game. But they went first person, and I agree with you. I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, day one Game Pass.
Yeah, day one Game Pass. Love it. Game Pass is definitely a lifesaver.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I think that it kind of wraps up this very short episode this week. And I guess we'll wrap it up unless you have anything else you want to add there, Patrick?
No, that was it. I do want to announce that upcoming, we are going to be having our 9th 9th annual In Our Mom's Basement Game Awards. It is always an exciting time when we do the Game Awards. We are going to have new presenters. We're going to have some returning presenters as well. Dan, do you want to answer that question in chat, in our live chat?
Sure, I'll answer that. So Diego asked if I found my future wife at Comic-Con this year. Unfortunately, I did not. Next year is always another chance, so we'll be back at it.
Alrighty. But yeah, our 9th annual Game Awards. It's always an exciting time for Dan and I. I can't believe this is our 9th annual. Our quick little backstory. Our very first Game Awards, I think, was how long, Dan? Like 2.5, 3 hours long. We did that for that episode. Okay. Our first ever Game Awards, we did it was like 2.5, 3 hours. And now we kind of cut it down. We cut it down to about an hour and a half, roughly around there. But it's going to be exciting. We got some cool nominees. We're going to, again, have some new presenters as well joining us. Diego being one of them, or so he says. Let's see if he remembers to record a video. But yeah, that's what we're looking forward to. That'll probably be in January. Definitely check out Dan's streams as well when he streams here at In Our Mom's Basement. Dan has been, been popping back in and out on stream, so definitely come in and check him out.
Yeah, well, we're working towards it. We'll get something more settled in our Discord. If you want to come check out our Discord, you'll find everything that Pat and I post in there about our upcoming streams.
And also our movie nights. We've been very consistent with our movie nights as well. Every Sunday night, we've been watching horror movies, obviously leading up to Christmas season, and then we'll watch Christmas movies, and then after Christmas, we'll go back and we'll watch, any new movies that might have come out. So,
yeah.
But
all right. Thank you guys for stopping by, listening to the podcast. We much appreciate everyone who comes in and supports us. Of course, you can follow us at all our social media platforms at In Our Mom's Basements. I just noticed my screen went black, but it's okay. So make sure to follow us at all our socials at In Our Mom's Basement. Join our Discord. You can find our link on our Twitch channels or at inourmomsbasement.com. Thank you guys so much and have a wonderful night.
You've just listened to the In Our Mom's Basement, a video game podcast with your hosts Dan Giofue and Rage Quit Pat. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google Play. See you in the next episode.